welcome to the video that I've been trying to record for a little while now, but I don't have any ideas, and to record for YouTube, it feels like, well, obviously it feels a lot different than recording on TikTok, because the TikTok's like a minute, right? But now it's like I'm trying to get a topic going to at least span 5 minutes, but here I am unable to do so. So I decided to recruit what I know best, TikTok, and I'm on TikTok live right now, so I'm gonna do like a Q&A while on TikTok live. Is it gonna work out? I don't know. If you see this video, it had some sort of success, but if you don't see the video, well, then that's just y'all that sees it, right? Either way, welcome. So first question is, what is your zodiac sign? I get this question all the time, and that first time I ever heard somebody ask me for my zodiac sign, I was avoiding that question like the plague, but not because I didn't want to share it, but because I don't like the backlash I get when I say what my zodiac sign is. And please, viewers at home, please do not roast me up for this or say anything negative, because it's like my trigger. But I'm a Gemini, and every time I say that, they're like, oh, you're a Gemini, you're two-faced. And it's like, please, we are adults right now. Please just accept that I was born when I was born. It's not like I chose it, right? It's just kind of life that I was given, and I'm just trying to live. You know, I'm playing the cards I was dealt, right? Why are people like this? All right, next question I got here is, do I miss college? College has its pros and its cons. The con is actually having to go to class, right? I feel like everybody shares that same experience, where it's like the classes was what was causing all the stress that really forced you to have fun in your free time, right? That was the stressor that you were trying to get away from. So I do miss it for the socializing, but I don't miss it because I think that's the most stress I've ever been in life. Well, that I thought, right? I thought college was peak stress until I got out in the real world, and then real stress really started to hit. But at that time, that taught me how to manage stress, right? So I do miss being able to go to the gym. I had like the best gym schedule, and I know that sounds crazy because I was supposed to be going to school, but my gym schedule and like my routine was like so good. I wasn't doing well in class, but my body was on point, and of course I love lifting, so I guess the fruits of my labor, right? If I had been like exercise science, I guess that would have been great. But considering I was a biology major and I was really focusing on my fitness, not the best, but it was fun. It was all worth the experience. Would I go back? No. Would I do it all over again though? Of course, you know, it made me who I am today. What is the best thing about being on social media? And honestly, I don't think I've gotten to the point where I feel like there's a best thing. If anything, everything feels very stressful. It feels like you're walking on eggshells. More because this app, TikTok in particular, is very strict about what you can and cannot say. I've jokingly put a comment on my little sister's video and it immediately got blocked, and I was just like, the audio that she's using is arguably a lot worse than what I said, and all I did was express my discomfort for what she said in the video, but it was actually the audio she was lip singing to, if that makes sense. And I'm more on the side of how can I get to a comfortable space on it, you know what I mean, as opposed to like, have I found what's best? I mean, it's cool, you know, some of my favorite creators. As my account grows, it's been great to be able to interact with them, and then, you know, now we follow each other and stuff like that. Like, that's really cool to me, but I don't think I've gotten to the point where it's like, have I figured out what the best thing is, if that makes sense? What advice do you have for finding motivation? And honestly, that's a tough one, only because I feel like it takes a lot more digging or soul searching than people think it does to actually find like a source of motivation. You know, when you do certain things, I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that you're doing whatever you're trying to achieve for you and not for anybody else. Sometimes people do use like family or like their situation to motivate them, but ultimately, like, if you're doing something that's really challenging your mental, you have to really want it at the end, right? Like, I mean, you can use your family as motivation, but let's say your family doesn't support what you do, then what? Where are you going to find motivation then? If you really find it within yourself to really like grasp what you want and really like think like, okay, this is what I want to do and I'm doing it for me, you'll be able to phase out like the judgment, all the stuff that comes with like that's why I don't like really like sharing what I want to do with social media with other people, because it feels, even to myself, sometimes I feel like I just don't believe in it like I should, and it feels embarrassing still. I haven't gotten to that point where like I'm like, I could say this out loud and feel like, all right, this is what I'm going to do, because I feel like even some people close to me, not that they've said anything, I think maybe it's just my insecurity, but it's like there's still doubt when I say what I want, So it's like really, I'm really like still trying to find that place where I feel like very motivated to even continue to do social media, right? And that's why here I am on YouTube trying to grow this platform, and I'm still on TikTok with everybody here, and I do appreciate y'all being here. But that was like God honest truth, right? So really find it within yourself to wake up and do it every day. Are you extroverted or introverted in real life? I think I could be both. If I feel like socializing, I will. If I don't, I won't. I don't like to put myself, I really don't like to be in social situations, to be completely honest with you. It really just makes me anxious. I'm an anxious person all around, so I prefer not to be in a situation where I have to socialize. But if I have to, or I'm willing, I'm pretty sociable. Like, I could talk to people. It all depends, honestly. It's like kind of a give or a take. And I forced myself to be very, like a social butterfly in college because I didn't know anybody, and I was going to a school where I didn't know anybody. And to cope with my anxiety, I would just talk to people and just like, I literally talked to the person that was right next to me, like, hey, it usually be in the gym. So I was like, hey, my name's Adonis, blah, 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 or I've seen you around, blah, blah, blah. Just start conversation with anybody, honestly, and it would help my anxiety. A lot of people didn't know that, but I did that for me because I'm selfish. But it also just worked out in my favor, or I guess it did work out in my favor for a little while in the sense that it did help me make new friends, but it ended up backfiring later on because then I knew a lot of people in the gym. And a lot of people would say what's up, and of course I'd want to show love, but it kind of like interrupt my workout, and it'd be harder to get my stress out because I use lifting as like a stress reliever, but because I had people coming up to me, and it takes a lot for me to socialize, it was kind of going back and forth on trying to relieve stress while still being stressed or in a stressful situation. I don't know, did that make sense? I'm not sure, but that's the answer to that. How do you go about balancing mental health, family stress, and career or jobs? The real answer is I don't. I've still been trying to find the perfect balance. I'm super unhappy at work. I think I've just been there too long, and it's a lot to deal with in terms of like clients and just their needs. It becomes tough, right? So I think I need a change of environment. That's not to say I don't like what I do. I love what I do, but I think it's about time for a change, and that unhappiness has been carrying over to other aspects of my life. So that makes everything else much harder. So I haven't been balancing, and that's just the real honest truth. I've been trying to find the perfect balance, but to find the perfect balance, what is perfect, right? Are we ever going to realistically have a situation where we're stress-free? I would say no, but because I'm just the kind of person that overanalyzes everything and feel like things could be better, but sometimes trying to achieve better is a barrier in itself. So I don't, but I try my best to try to work out. I'm trying to cut weight, but because I gained weight, stress eating, right? So that's not good. I always feel like in terms of talking about like body, like my body image, body positivity comes into it, but it's not that I'm not body positive. I'm just aware that the reason my body got the way it is because I was stress eating, which in itself isn't a good coping mechanism. I'm pretty sure that's not good, right? I don't know. Either way, I don't, but I'm trying. How do you think you're going to act when people start recognizing you in real life? Honestly, the same. I don't know how comfortable I'm going to be when they approach me. I mean, I encourage them to approach me, say what's up. You know, I'll show love always. I don't imagine that I act any different. It's humble forever. You know, I feel like the longer you maintain your humbleness, the less chance there is that your success will like consume who you are, if that makes sense. Sometimes people get on social media, they find success and they just become somebody else, and I feel like the longer you stay humble and just remember who you are and how you got here, the longer you'll be like that humble individual. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm gonna still be the same dude to sum that answer up. You think you can speak things into existence? And I've been wanting to talk about this for a little while, but I think if you repeat something enough, or like you want something enough, you think about it a lot, subconsciously you're going to always work towards that. That's why I think positive self-talk is important, but I always think it comes off as very, for a lack of better words, head ass when you're talking about it to people. But I always say be careful what you wish for, because I always used to say, and this sounds like crazy, right? I don't know if these things are true. I don't know if you could really speak something into existence, but consider, I always used to tell myself, and I don't know, take this as you will. I always used to tell myself, like, so I never had a good relationship with my dad, right? It was always a very rock relationship. He would come see me. He would say he would come. He's not going to cut. He doesn't come. I would always get left with just looking forward to something that never came to be. And I told myself, like, past a certain point, like at a certain age, I was like, look, I'm not really going to go out of my way to make this dude like a part of my life. He's either going to make the effort or he's not, but I'm not begging for it. I'm already done. He's did what he did, and I'm going to keep it moving. But I always told myself, after college, like, I'll reach out to him and I'll really make an effort, because at that point I thought that my life would be more stable. It's just he would stress me out, and it's like he's like pushing me to do things I wasn't interested in doing while I was in college. It's like, son, I'm in college right now. Why are you doing this to me? He was making it about him, and it's like, you, like, that boat has sailed. He was always like, oh, why don't you call me? Why don't you do this? And it's like, bro, you weren't calling me when I was little. Why would I call you when I'm an adult, right? And I think he knew he was sick, but I didn't believe him, because he would just lie sometimes so that I would feel bad. But then it got to a point where I was telling myself, I'm like, look, just wait until after school, focus on school right now, but once school is done, extend the hand, right? But I always told myself, I said, he's probably going to die before you're able to do that. Because I always felt like something was going to happen. Like, something always told me, like, you're not going to make it to that point. But I was like, whatever, I'm just being paranoid. My last, like, year or two of college, I think it was, like, it was my second to last semester of school. His cousin reached out to me. He's like, look, your dad's sick. He don't want me to tell you because he knows you're in school and he felt like he might stress you out. But I wanted to tell you because I think he's going to die. And that was it. That was the last. I didn't talk to him before that. I ended up having to sign papers so they could do some tests or whatever. But he ended up dying. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know if that was me speaking into existence, but definitely tread light when you say things like that, I guess. But yeah, so what did you want to be as a kid? I don't know. There's literally, so I'm going to just tell you a story instead of answering next. I really didn't know. But there was a point in time where I promise you, and it's not a joke, one of my friend Darian, he will always, like, we always talk about this every so often. We had to do, like, a career picture. So you would do, like, what you wanted to be when you grow up. And I put a comedian. And I hadn't seen him. That was probably in the second grade. And when I graduated high school, I ran into him at my graduation. He didn't go to my high school. He came to see another one of my friends. And he was there. He's like, hey, bro, you remember when you said you wanted to be a comedian? We always laughed about it. And I was always post, like, I guess, quote unquote, funny videos on Instagram. And he's always, every so often, if he laughed, he's like, you remember when you said that? And it's just like, am I going to be a stand-up comic? I don't think so. I don't know if that's where my life's taking me right now. But that was just, I thought that was funny that still comes up. And here I am trying to be hilarious on the internet, right? Do I knowingly know I'm hilarious? I'm not sure. Do I think some things are kind of funny? Absolutely. But do I identify with a comedian? I'm not sure that that's what I would call it. I did my friend's podcast one time and they asked me, and it's like, I wouldn't claim to be a comedian because I really respect the craft of stand-up comedy, because it's not the same as like making videos on the internet. So definitely a different realm. Would I ever take that route? I've thought about it a lot, but that's just not where I'm at right now. So somebody asked, do you believe in marriage? And I 100% do believe in marriage, but I'm not as eager to get into a marriage as I was when I was younger. When I was younger, I just wanted to have like a life partner and get my life started, honestly. Because I've always been, I guess, a romantic, right? I've always wanted to share my life with somebody else. And I've just always had these ideas of like what my life would be at this age, right? And of course, the way we see something as a youth is very different than what we get when we're older, because life is a lot harder than we imagine it. So I do believe in it, but I definitely have a more realistic understanding of what my marriage would look like now as opposed to like the fantasy I had when I was younger. But hopefully one day I do get married. And I guess we could revisit that once I am, right? E-girls or I-ladies. And I feel like I-ladies are like the Facebook moms and stuff, and e-girls are like the internet baddies, but the fact that it has the word girls in it as opposed to women, I would say e-women, right? Because I'm more on the e-women side, and I-ladies, those kind of go together. But like e-girls, you know, people try to misconstrue what you say because of the context or the semantics of what you said. So I'm gonna go with e-women, right? E-women are the internet baddies. The I-ladies are the old internet baddies who were baddies outside of the internet because they had no choice. But I'd imagine those I-ladies would have been baddies on the internet had they not gotten to a point where they're like, I'm too old to be showing breasts on the internet, even though, you know, you're never too old. This question asks if I've ever been caught breaking the law. And I haven't been caught breaking the law. The closest I've been to breaking the law is cheating in class. I know, right? Oh, what a wuss. Why is breaking the law cool to y'all? I was talking to my friend. It was literally a 3 multiple choice quiz. And my boy, he looked at my paper. He's like, that's not right. because I had changed my answer from the right answer to the wrong answer because I wasn't sure. I never studied, right? I was going straight off what I heard in class. And he looked over, he's like, yo, go back to the other one, it's wrong. And my teacher, he had walked out when we were talking, and he walked back in right when he saw we were talking. I changed my answer, and my teacher was just like me mugging me, and he was like, because he was like a short white dude, no lips. He looked like Popeye the Sailor Man. He was actually a really cool guy, but you know, I was cheating, so of course he got to show me no love. He got to be like, you know. So he stood in front of me for a very long time. I looked around, and he was just staring at me, and I'm like, and I gave him my paper because what are you trying to intimidate me for? If you call me cheating, throw my quiz out, give me a 0. But you trying to scare me? Like I'm a student. You look dumb. So that's the closest I've ever been, I guess, getting caught breaking the law, breaking school code. What is it? Academic honesty? I was almost caught being academically dishonest. If you're seeing this part of the video, you have made it to the end of the video, and I appreciate you for watching, and I appreciate everybody here on the live for tuning in and offering me their questions and their curiosity to answer questions for a YouTube video. Am I gonna make more videos like this? I'm not sure. Because y'all know me and YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube and you've been subscribed to my YouTube and you watch those vlogs from way back in the day, you know how inconsistent I can be. But if you're still here and you're still watching, I really appreciate it as I try to figure out what I'm doing with social media. But as always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Pauline, give me some of your tots.
No, go find your own.
That was better.